To their TA video, I'll be going over some names I'm looking at for this week, and let's get right into it. So first off, it's going to be Qs. Again, price is still in this range. If you want to be patient, what I'm going to be doing is wait above 630 for that confirmation to see a break above that range and see a move back up to 637 and revisit all-time highs. And then if we look back here on the tech sector, price is still in this range box. Price is still consolidating, and I alerted on my Discord group that price is approaching that level. And if we look here intraday, price did get rejected at the top of the range. So it's clear that price action is following this range. What I'm doing is just literally sitting in my hands until price breaks above or below that range. And yeah, that is what I'm looking at for XLK. We're going to be moving on because it's been the same thing. We're going to move on to DIA. So DIA is a name that I'm looking at above 497. Price has been trying to retest or at least try to break out from these highs. So definitely keep an alert above 497 for a potential breakout in this ETF. And again, price is above the 8 and 21 EMA. So price is still bullish. Bulls are in control short term. And again, I would wait above once you break above this high for continuation. For more bullish continuation. And yeah, that's what I'm looking in for DIA. Okay. Now we're going to be looking at this other sector, XLC, which is communication services. The top holdings, I believe, is I think Netflix. No, not Netflix. Meta and Microsoft. And if we look here on the daily time frame, price is approaching this prior resistance level. And again, if we see price break above these previous wicks, we could definitely see the sector break out and even head up to 120 or retest these previous highs on the daily time frame. And again, I'm going to be waiting. I'm not going to be too aggressive here. I would wait until a candle closure above these wicks. And I want to see price respect this level, and I'll maybe wait for consolidation, maybe wait for a flag or any consolidation for a continuation higher. Okay, again, if we're below 117, I'm not going to be too involved in this ETF because again, you're going to be back in this range and you're just going to be trading chop. Okay, we're going to move on to NVDA. It's going to be the same thing again. Price is consolidating. Still in this flag or pennant pattern or whatever you want to call it. The EMAs did cross, which could act as a buy signal, which happened right here. And if we look here, signals did cross again right here again as well. So definitely keep it on NVIDIA. I have an alert above 190 for a breakout to 195, which was a prior bearish engulfing candle high. But again, if you break above 190, I do think it's 195 or even $200 for NVIDIA. And yeah, that is what I'm looking at for NVIDIA. Your support levels is 185, 180. And again, my bullish pivot is 185. So really, I'm just looking to be buying NVIDIA above as long as you hold above 185. And again, even if you do break below 185, I'm just going to break and just wait and see if we do retest that 180 level. But once you break below 180, that's when I start to get more bearish. Turn bearish. And you can see that retest back to 170 on the daily time frame. And that is it for NVIDIA. It's short and fast, easy analysis to take. Just to take in. And again, Apple, I mentioned here that you can see that oversold balance play take place. We did see that happen here on the daily time frame. Price did form a reversal candle on the daily time frame. And now we're approaching that 21 EMA on daily. And yeah, that 21 EMA is going to be sitting on prior support and resistance. So definitely keep an eye on this name for at least a retest back up to 259. But again, it's not going to be a perfect world where we just magically just go up forever. Just break and just keep on going to 280. No, I definitely could see price reject this 21 EMA and maybe retest back down to 253 or even lower to 247 again to see a continuation back up higher to 280. But yeah, always I'm going to be respecting my levels. If price does break below 245, I do think you could see the doors back down and head down to 232 on the daily time frame. Okay, so that is pretty much it for Apple. We move on to Meta. Again, Meta, I mentioned this in not yesterday's video, but the video before that, where 600 is a very critical level for Meta, and buyers obviously responded there, and my bullish pivot is 650. So again, as long as we're above that, I do think you could see that medium-term reversal take place in Meta. But this is the real test. Price has been rejected multiple times here at that 675, 675-ish level. And again, if you do manage to break above that level, you could see that gap fill take place on Meta. So what I'm literally looking at is a break above 675 to definitely see it, not definitely, to see a potential gap fill all the way up to 740. And again, if you break below 650, just pay attention because you could see that retest back down to 600. And if we look here on the weekly time frame, price did, sorry. All right, sorry. So price did form a bullish engulfing candle. But again, if you break below 600, that's where you can see this channel break down and maybe see Meta head down to 532 to even 480 on the weekly time frame. Okay, and we're going to be moving on to the next name, which is Bitcoin. So if we look here on the daily time frame, price is, on the daily time frame, price is still respecting this prior support. So again, if we look here, support here, support here, support here, and kind of supporting here as well. But look, I mentioned here in yesterday's video, definitely look for a potential bounce here on Bitcoin because you are approaching that critical level around 86K, and things will get ugly short term if you do break below that 86K level to see a potential breakdown back down to 77 or even 72K. But if you look here on the weekly time frame, that 72 and 65K area can be a great long-term buy because this was a prior resistance and support level here on the daily and weekly time frame. So even if we do fall back down, I want to see price kind of consolidate before we even head up higher to $120,000. Or we could literally, Bitcoin could just simply respect this level again at 86K and potentially bottom here, break above 96K to see 120 once again here on the daily or weekly time frame. Okay, and that is it for Bitcoin. Price is still at that support, and yeah, price is at demand, so definitely just keep an eye on that. Another name what I'm looking at right now is Coinbase. So if we look here, oops, that is not that. If we look here on the RSI indicator, we could see a obvious bullish divergence here taking place here. So while price action is forming lower lows, we are forming higher lows on the daily time, on the RSI indicator, which could indicate a potential bottom signal soon. So it's not saying that it's going to happen right away, but definitely be noting down that the RSI is forming higher lows. So the strength of sellers is dying down a bit. But again, price at this previous demand zone, we did feel like gap on the daily time frame. But again, price is approaching that demand. Well, it is in that demand box, but we are approaching this lower trend line here on the weekly time frame, which was marked multiple bottoms here. So if we see Coinbase lose that 200 level, and you could definitely see Coinbase head down to 177, 200, or even that 150 that retest that April bottom here. But again, prices at this demand box while forming a bullish divergence. Definitely note down that Bitcoin and Coinbase is at a critical level. And if we even look here at MicroStrategy, you're even here at a big prior demand box here, which I'm also noting down as well. So definitely keep an eye on Bitcoin names because you are at these critical levels. If Bitcoin breaks down, we could definitely see that next support level on the weekly time frame from all these crypto names. Okay, and we're gonna do real fast for MSTR because I didn't really go over it. But what I'm looking at is if we could break above 175 to see it move back up to 200 or 235. Okay, the next sector I'm looking at is banks or financials. Really, if you look here on the daily time frame, price is respecting that 21 EMA, which has marked previous bottoms here on the daily time frame. Okay, and right now if you look here on the 1 hour time frame, price has obviously marked this as a support level around 930, 932. So what I'm looking at is if if Goldman Sachs re-enters this range and maybe head back up to 260. But again, this could act as resistance. So definitely keep an eye if we get that rejection or form a bearish 4 hour candle. You could definitely see a more bearish continuation here on the hourly or even that 4 hour time frame. So that is what I'm really looking at for Goldman Sachs. But really, what I'm really looking at is JP Morgan, which I said in yesterday's video that price is retesting that prior support level, and buyers did manage to come through. But again, price is still bearish, but I'm literally looking at price could still consolidate here and form any indications of any bottom on the daily time frame to at least buy the dip to see a continuation back up to previous all-time highs on the daily. But again, even if we do form a bearish pattern here, this could be an opportunity to short below 296 to see a move back down to 285, which was a prior support level in the past. And yeah, that is what I'm literally looking at for this next upcoming weeks. And that is it for today's video. Hope you guys like it. Quick and easy to understand. And yeah, peace, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye.